Hey, dreamers, welcome back to your Dream Coach podcast. This is where we dive deep into mindset, habits, and strategies that help you build a life and a business that you love. I'm Shayla Wey, and today I'm talking about something that sneaks up on us almost everyone really at some point, and that's the whole imposter syndrome. And I wanted to use this topic today because I had an opportunity to meet with my business coach earlier this week, and I'm in some building stages of my career where I am rolling out a new company and building out my school platform and going to be rolling my coaching to sort of that group coaching concept, and that's just growth. And there's been moments over these last few weeks where I've really wondered if I'm good enough, and trying to navigate some of those feelings that I've felt many times in life when something is new. And so if you've ever felt like you're not qualified enough, you're not experienced enough, or that someone is going to find out you don't really belong, you're not alone. I've definitely been there too. And what I know is that I've just found that imposter syndrome isn't actually a sign that you're not ready. It's actually a sign that you're not growing. And so today I'm going to break down why imposter syndrome happens and how it holds you back. And most importantly, just how to move past it so that you can step into the success that you deserve. And so imposter syndrome does affect all of us, even the most successful people. And for the longest time, I thought imposter syndrome was something that kind of I only struggled with. Obviously now with more conversations on social media and more people that speak on this topic and are more vulnerable when they share, we've heard this word definitely a lot more. But I started to talk to a lot more successful entrepreneurs and executives and creatives, and I realized it's everywhere, right? Even the top people of their game sometimes feel like they don't belong, right? And the difference is they don't let it stop them. And so what I found is that recognizing you're not alone in this feeling, and that makes it easier to manage. And the more you know, the more you think you do, right? Or I guess you know more than you think you do, right? And one of the biggest lies that imposter syndrome tells us is that we don't know enough. And I used to hold back from speaking up or launching offers because I felt like I wasn't enough. I wasn't expert enough because I felt like I would share something and then in my head right away I would say, well, that's not new, or everybody knows that. And what I'm reminding myself is that what I've learned is that you don't have to know everything, and that there are people that are not quite where you're at right now. And so you do hold value because you once were somewhere that other people are, and you just have to know more than the people you're helping. And so I've just started to really let that go, that absolutely I will continue to grow and there's so much more that I can learn, but I also have a few decades of wisdom and experience that people that maybe aren't quite there yet can definitely, get value from. And so if you solve the problem for yourself or someone else, you absolutely have value to share. And experience comes from action, not just credentials. I am constantly reminding people that you don't necessarily have to have the certification or another degree or another course to be truly ready. With my coaching clients, I meet so many people from around the world that feel like they have to have XYZ in order to get started. And what I've found is that experience doesn't come from endless learning, it comes from doing. And the best way to gain confidence is to take action. So every project, every client, every attempt teaches you something that no matter that no amount of studying ever could. I have been around some extremely smart individuals, intelligent individuals, but they don't have the skill set that some other people do have without the education, because they didn't ever just take action, right? They're book smart, but they don't have that real world experience of ups and downs and challenges and overcoming, right, some of that adversity. And perfectionism definitely fuels imposter syndrome, because for the longest time, I thought I kind of had to have everything perfect before I put myself out there. I would make sure that this was right and that was right. And honestly, people that I appreciate the most are the ones that are really real. And I'm talking about that all the time with people that I'm coaching is be you, because you have your own superpowers. And so as I've learned even more so in these last few years, is that perfectionism is just a fancy form of procrastination. And when I heard that, I was like, yep, that's totally what I'm doing. I'm just procrastinating because I'm waiting for the right time, the right this, the right that. And honestly, the truth is that no one has it all figured out. The people who succeed are the ones who take imperfect action, and they refine along the way. Letting go of perfectionism gave me that freedom to actually move forward. And your perspective is your power. One of the biggest shifts I made was realizing that my unique background, my challenges and experiences are what have made me valuable. I used to compare myself to others and think, well, I don't have those skills or their success or their knowledge. But what I found is that no one else has my exact perspective. And that's my advantage. So your story, your voice, and your insights, they do matter. And fear is a sign that you're on the right path. And this one was a game changer for me. I mean, I used to think of fear meant that I wasn't ready. And then I realized that often fear shows up right before a big breakthrough. And this just happened to me recently as I shared, like I'm leveling up my business. I'm taking things in my company to a greater level. And that kind of freaked me out a little bit. And I absolutely went down, this whole rabbit hole of a bit of imposter syndrome. And if you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, it's natural to feel uncertain. I've learned to just reframe fear as a sign that I'm growing, not failing. And so the right people will see your value. Imposter syndrome makes us worry about being found out. But what I found is the right people already see your value. They're not looking for someone who has it all together. They're looking for someone who can help them. And the more I focused on serving others instead of just proving myself, the more my confidence grew and honestly continues to grow. And that's those small wins, and I've shared this before, but those small wins is what builds confidence. Confidence isn't something that you wait for. It's something that you can't just read in a book and have. It's something that you have to build. And I used to think I had to feel confident before I could take action. But what I've learned is that action creates that confidence. And every small win, whether it's landing a client, publishing content, just even getting some positive feedback, helps chip away at imposter syndrome. And comparing yourself to others is such a losing game. I try to teach my kids this all the time, right? The good, the bad, the ugly. If someone's not nice to you, don't not be nice back, right? And just the world needs more leaders, right? And that really starts with leading ourselves. And that's leadership is a core value of what I teach in my program. And so one of the biggest things that fueled my imposter syndrome was comparing myself to people who were further ahead. What I found is that comparison is a momentum killer. So instead of looking at someone else's highlight reel, I just focus on my own progress. The only comparison that matters in my mind is just who we were yesterday versus who you are today, because you're already more ready than you think. So if you take one thing from today's episode, let it be this: you are already more ready than you think. I have found that the biggest difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent or experience, it's belief. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. And the truth is that you become ready by showing up and just doing the work. And so imposter syndrome isn't a sign that you're not capable. It is a sign that you're stretching yourself in the right direction. And the more you push past it, the easier it gets. So here's my challenge for you. Take one action this week that imposter syndrome has been holding you back from, whether it's launching that offer, speaking up in a meeting, or putting yourself out there in a new way. Just do it anyway. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, leave a review, and it helps people step out of fear and into their full potential. Remember, you are ready. You are enough, and the world needs what only you can offer. I'll see you next time on your Dream Coach podcast.